What's up, everybody? It's Jordan Stupar, and you've made it to another episode of the Jordan Stupar Show. I'm glad to have you here, and if it's your first time here, this is the place to go for some sales, entrepreneurship, business, happiness, the pursuit of happiness, some stories, accolades, and personal experiences of mine and my guests, of course, when I do have them, so that you can be encouraged, you can be inspired to make better decisions out of your life, take more risks, have a little bit more fun, and ultimately live a better life. That's really what we're here for. Obviously, we hit on a lot of different subject matter because life is full of all sorts of things. But really today I want to give you 7 things that I know will help you have more happiness in 2022. As I'm recording this, we are winding down here in 2021. And for the first time in a long time, I can say that it's been a banner year. Things have been going excellent. It's nice for once coming out of a really dark, long season or chapter of my life, putting together 12 consecutive months of hard work, of growth, of progress, being able to do what I want to do. I got a lot of dark, horrible, tragic stories that I can share with you, but I'm not focused on those things. What I'm focused on is happiness, because it's through the tragedy, it's through hard times, it's through difficulty, it's through adversity where you're able to make some realizations and then act upon what you discover throughout those dark times. And so I'm not here to talk about all the dark times. What I am here to talk about is 7 things that I learned in some of my dark times, some of the challenges and adversity that I think you can take with you into 2022 so that you can be happier. Because at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be happier? I know I want to be happier. And ultimately, these 7 things are going to help you just be happier, even through dark times, even through good times, so on and so forth. Whatever type of 2022 you end up having, I want you to use these 7 things that I've learned to, again, be happier, be more upbeat, be more positive. Be that person that people actually want to hang out with rather than a negative Nancy or a Rachel Raincloud or whatever it is that you want to say. Number 1 realization that a lot of people struggle with is that it's nobody's responsibility to make you happy. Literally not one single person walking the face of the earth was born with the intent or the purpose to make you happy or fulfill your happiness. Other people exist merely to only contribute to your happiness. And this is true with your wife, this is true with your husband, this is true with your kids. Your kids weren't born to make you happy, okay? Your wife or your husband didn't walk down the wedding aisle and get married to you because they wanted to take on a new role or responsibility of making you a happy person. Nobody on this planet's gonna make you happy. Only you can make you happy. Again, other people only exist to contribute to your happiness or to allow you to maintain your personal happiness, which will ultimately bring up in some other realizations here in a second. But that's rule number 1, and that's realization number 1 is that it's nobody's job to make you happy. Realization number 2 is that other people's happiness is not your responsibility. You, at the exact same rate, were not born with the duty or obligation to make other people happy. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be, like a jerk or an asshole for your whole life and justify it on the basis of what Jordan Stupar said on episode 11 of this show or whatever. The point is that you can be a good person, but understand that if other people are unhappy, look, it's not your job to make them happy, okay? Your job is to fulfill your own happiness, allow yourself to let others contribute to your happiness, and also then take responsibility for contributing to other people's happiness. Now, I understand that there's some dynamics, especially in personal relationships and in business, where somebody might get upset at you or become unhappy with you. And sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not. So the point that I want to make here is if it is your responsibility that you have contributed to the unhappiness of somebody else, then you have to take responsibility for that, control it and change it, and do everything in your power to make good on it or to ameliorate things or to help out and otherwise, make up for whatever it is that you did to make somebody else unhappy. However, after you've done everything that you need to do, you've said sorry, you've apologized, you've made some changes, you've fixed some things, so on and so forth. After you've done what you can do about what you did to make somebody unhappy, it's no longer your responsibility to give a damn if that person is still unhappy with you, okay? That is a huge thing that everybody needs to understand, is that it doesn't really, if I do something, if I don't do the dishes at the house and Marion has the expectation that I'm doing the dishes and she becomes upset with me for not doing the dishes, well, then I can apologize. I can buy her a bouquet of roses. I can write her a handwritten card saying, I'm so sorry for not doing the dishes. I dropped the ball. It'll never happen again. And then I can go and do the dishes and take care of my job and my responsibility of doing those dishes. Now, I've bought flowers, I've written out a card, I've said sorry, I've done the dishes, and I've fulfilled all the things that I need to fulfill to kind of, make things good. If she decides to still be unhappy, that is no longer my responsibility because I've already done what I needed to do and what I can do to change and help that situation. And so some of you guys need to be comfortable allowing other people to stay unhappy with you or frustrated with you. Again, you have to fulfill your obligation of making things right and doing what you can to stop that person feeling unhappy. But if you've done everything that you can, and that person decides to still be unhappy, well then good. Don't let that ruin your day. Don't think twice about it because again, their happiness is not your responsibility. And if for some reason they're still deciding to be unhappy, well then that's something deeper and it's something internal with them. So that's realization number 2, is that other people's happiness is no longer your responsibility. Realization number 3, okay, this is a big one, is that you can, if you want to, detach yourself from things, places, and people that make you unhappy. Period. Okay? If you don't like the town that you're in, move. You don't like the relationship you're in, get out of it. You don't like the role or the job or the things that you spend your time doing, quit. Give up. Do something else. If things in your life are making you unhappy and they are not contributing to your happiness, well, then guess what? You need to unplug from that stuff. You need to leave those relationships. You need to move out of that town. But beware of the fact, and I said this in episode 1, I think, of this show, is that you're going to continuously find yourself in the exact same relationships, okay, if you don't learn your lesson. If you're unable to learn the lesson from the poor, toxic, horrible relationship you're in right now, you're going to find yourself in literally the exact same relationship, maybe just with a different person or with a different business partner or whatever. Okay, so if you're not growing, don't even bother moving cities, getting out of a bad relationship, or quitting your job or whatever it is that's coming to mind when I'm saying things that make you unhappy. Okay, you have to make a decision to not settle for those things. You also have to learn the lessons of what caused those things. And if you're not intentionally putting some awareness on those things, then you'll never really learn that lesson. And if you move from Wisconsin to Scottsdale, Arizona, because you think a new city's going to make you happy, guess what? It's not. If you think that getting out of this one toxic relationship and immediately firing up another one without learning any lessons, with trying to be with pretty much the same person, guess what? You're going to have the same damn issues with that new toxic relationship. So the point is that as long as you're learning your lessons, generating some awareness, and trying to improve the aspects and qualities of your life, then you can easily detach from places, people, and things that make you unhappy. And that could be its own podcast right there, and maybe it will be one of these days. Realization number 4, so that you can have a happier 2022, is that you can have literally whatever it is that you want on this planet, as long as you don't give up on it. I mean, that itself is another whole podcast. But the whole idea here is that way too many of you guys give up way too soon, or don't even start on some things because it's going to be too hard. And you don't end up getting what you want out of it because you gave up. There's one thing in common with every single successful person I have ever looked at, ever talked to, so on and so forth. And they all say the same thing. Don't give up. As long as you don't give up, you will lose that weight. As long as you don't give up, you will become a millionaire. As long as you don't give up, you'll be able to run a 4-minute mile. As long as you don't give up and you continuously get just a little bit better, you make just a little bit of progress, okay? Stop trying to think that you're going to get it right away. It's not going to happen. It's not a reality. We live in a world of instant gratification. We sacrifice what we really want for what we kind of want right now. Get that shit out of your head and stop acting like that, because I promise you that is the number one way to sacrifice all the stuff that you actually want. So be clear on your goals and what it is that you want, and then just make an agreement with yourself to either get it or die trying. That's what's helped me become as successful as I have been this year. This is going to be the thing that allows me to experience all the success that I want throughout the rest of my career over the next 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 years, is the fact that I'm not going to give up. Period. End of story. You couldn't get me to quit if you could get me to quit. You literally would have to shoot me in the head with like a really big gun on the off chance that the little bullets don't do its job. So never quit, never give up, and that will make you happy. You might not feel super happy when you're like in the middle of the suck and all the pain and everything, but trust me, if you can get over those little humps, consistently, you're going to feel a whole lot better about your life and you're going to be a happier person. Realization number 5 is where you're at right now and where you want to be. The distance between those two places is just called learning. That's all that it is. Some of you, maybe imagine you've never earned more than $5,000 in a month before, okay? I think that's pretty relatable, and some of us are still there, right? The only difference between earning $5,000 a month and $10,000 a month is understanding how to make an extra 5. That's it. And if you understand how to make 5 in a month and you can somehow figure out how to duplicate that twice in the same month, then you've learned to make $10,000 in a month. The difference between, where I'm at physically and where I want to be for this Spartan race that I'm doing in 10 months, that's another episode, is I need to learn what that Spartan race is all about, the obstacles and such, and I need to learn some specific exercises, workouts, and I need to learn what is going to be required of me in order to successfully complete that race and do a good job. And so it's not just all hard work. Sometimes it's just learning, because I know how to work out, but now I need to learn how to work out specifically for this thing that I'm looking to accomplish. So that goes with money, that goes with love, that goes with everything. Maybe you need to learn more about your partner in order to have a better relationship because you're trying to bridge that gap between where it's at right now and where you want it to be. Might not require you to do the same of what you're doing right now. Maybe you have to do things a little bit differently. Maybe you got to learn to have a better attitude towards your spouse, so on and so forth. And really, that's the distance between where you want to be and where you at right now is called learning. Realization number 6 is that nobody's going to help you. Okay, this is a hard one to swallow. This is some of those pills that are hard to swallow because we want help. All of us want a little bit of help. We want somebody to mentor us. We want somebody to donate some money. We want somebody to help make it easy or easier. And I'll be the first one to tell you that literally not one single person is going to just come out of the woodwork, drop out of heaven, fall from the sky and say, yo, what do you need, man? You need more money? I got you. How much you need? Nobody who's a billionaire is just going to descend from the skies in a white robe and be like, yo, I'm here to teach you exactly everything that I know as it applies to exactly what you're doing. And also, I'd like to fund you with $100 million to get started. Okay, nobody is going to walk into the gym while you're doing sit-ups and be like, yo man, you want my abs? I worked really hard for these and you look like you've kind of earned them, so I just want to give you my abs. Okay, it's unrealistic, it's never going to work. But I will say this, although nobody is going to help you, there's a reasonable chance that somebody might. And I want to let you know that if somebody does help you and somebody does accelerate your growth or, the accomplishments that you're trying to accomplish. If somebody does help you, it's because you've earned it. It's not because they just randomly, want to help you. For instance, let's say that Jordan Stupar is a multi-millionaire and I have a foundation where I have $1 million every single year to help fund somebody's startup or get somebody paid out of debt or whatever. I'm not just going to randomly scroll through Instagram, look at somebody's profile and be like, hey man, I have no idea what you're doing. And I don't know, I just like your profile. Want $1 million to get jump started on whatever it is that you want to get jump started on? Or do you think that I might be a little bit more diligent, do a little bit of homework and find somebody who really deserves it? Somebody that's already putting in a lot of sweat, somebody that's already doing the work, somebody that's already bleeding for what they want. Dude, those are the people that I would be willing to help. And that's the same exact type of people that other people who are in a position to help you are going to be looking for. So don't expect any help at all, ever. You don't deserve it ever. But on the off chance that somebody is polite, kind enough, and merciful enough to help you out, understand it's not because, it's not because you're lucky. It's because you've earned it in some way, shape, or form. And realization number 7 to have a happier life in 2022 is understanding that getting what you want is not nearly as rewarding as showing other people or helping other people get what they want. Okay? It was really, really rewarding going and buying my first Porsche 911. I had accomplished something. I bought my dream car, something that 99.9% of people don't get an opportunity to do, especially when it comes with an exotic price tag. And ultimately, it was rewarding. It was fulfilling. It was an achievement that I had unlocked that I had dreamt about since I was like 4 years old, as I always say. But nothing in this world to me is as rewarding as watching somebody else go and purchase their dream car after being able to outline and show them how I was able to do it. And so for me, that's super fulfilling. For me, that makes me super happy. I have some very material goals, as most people do. I often talk about them. And I have some material goals that I want to materialize in 2022. And, fingers crossed, I think with some good work ethic and everything that I've learned, I think that I'll be in a good position to attain all of them, if not most of them at the very least. But the point is that I also have goals for helping X amount of people accomplish their goals and kind of manifest what they're looking to have. Cool, I might buy another 911 in 2022. I might be in a position to reclaim my favorite sports car and throw it in the garage or the driveway. But it would be way more rewarding to help 5 other people get their dream car in 2022. And if I can attain my goals, but also help multiple people attain their goals next year, well then guess what? I'm going to bed super fulfilled because not only have I achieved what I want to achieve personally, but I've also been the catalyst, the guide, and made an impression or impact on other people that have gotten what they wanted. And that's also, again, extremely fulfilling and very rewarding, and also contributes a great deal to my overall happiness. So those are 7, realizations that I've had through some of the dark times over the last couple years on things that I need to understand in order to improve my happiness. Because at the end of the day, look, being alive is a grind. Okay, we got bills, we got taxes, we got death, we got bad relationships, good ones. How do you really navigate it all? And despite the challenges, despite the good times, how do you stay happy? How do you stay positive? And how can you be one of those people other people want to hang out with? Well, it all boils down to taking some responsibility for your own happiness. It also, you might have to relinquish some of the responsibilities you feel of making other people happy. Some of you guys need to detach from places, people, or things that are making you unhappy. Some of you guys need to understand that you shouldn't give up on what it is that you want, because sooner or later you'll have what you need. Some of you need to understand that the difference between where you're at and where you want to go is simply just a couple of lessons. It's a little bit of learning. Some of you guys need to understand that nobody's going to help you in 2022. And if they do, it's not because you're lucky. It's because you've been putting in the work. It's because you deserved it and because you've earned it. And again, some of you need to understand that there's way more happiness and way more rewards and fulfillment found in helping other people attain the things that they're looking to attain. And one of the best things about attaining your own goals that are higher than other people's is that, guess what? When other people raise their goals to the level of attainment you've already put together, then guess what? You can literally copy and paste and help them duplicate the success that you've had. So those are my 7 realizations for having a happier, more fulfilling, more rewarding year in 2022, because I feel like there's a lot of you out there crying and complaining, bitching and moaning, and ultimately, sure, that's your prerogative. You can definitely decide to act that way for another year of your life if you'd like. But what you could also do is you can make a decision to be happy. And ultimately, if you can make yourself happy, guess what? You'll be in a better position to make other people happy and fulfill them and reward them with more happiness. So guys, that's the show today. And I appreciate you being here. If you got something out of this, if it encouraged you, if it made you happier, or, made you smile, I don't know. If it was nice, please be nice to me. Show me a little bit of love. Leave leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Leave a comment, share this with somebody, and help me grow this show, because this is going to be about positivity. This is about overcoming challenges, and this is just about being the better version of you, which I think everybody should try to attain. So with that, my name is Jordan Stupar, and I'm out. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you guys next time.
That's what they don't understand.